Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's workshop Boundaries and Burnout Protecting Your Energy and Well Being. So, my name is Shaima Bilal, and I'm a junior psychologist at MindTribe. And I'm really happy that you all are here today because this topic is something really very interesting, and but we will be struggling a lot silently. So even if we don't say it loud, it's kind of a struggle that all of us are facing every day. So this topic often looks really very simple, but in reality, it affects our every part of our life. So let it be our work, our relationships, and even our sense of self. So thank you all for joining me here, and I really hope that this might be very helpful for you. Okay, so once again, I'm Shaima. I work as a junior psychologist at MindTribe, and I am someone who genuinely enjoys helping people feel understood and safe. So, I also like creating warm, safe spaces where you don't have to pretend everything is okay. So you can just be yourself. Today's session will be very conversational and really very interactive, and I hope so. So you don't need to worry about anything that's not perfect, or you don't need to worry about any right or wrong answers. Just stay there, relax, listen, and you can participate whenever you're feeling comfortable. And my only goal from this workshop will be to make you feel much lighter and more clear about how to set boundaries and be more confident about protecting your energy. All right. So also I have Vartika over here who will be our co-host for today. I'll hand it over to her for introduction.
Thank you, Shaima. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vartika. I work as a junior psychologist at MindTribe, and I have done my master's in counseling psychology. And I hope you all have a meaningful session today. All the very best.
Thank you, Vartika. So now that we have, let's just a second. Alright, so now let's dive in a little bit. So, before we start, there are a few simple ground rules over here to make this space feel safe for everyone. So, first of all, this is a non judgmental zone. So, we have a lot of different experiences from you all. So, everything shared over here will be non judgmental, and nobody is going to be judging you. And second, please treat everyone with respect. So, we may be discussing.
Can you speak a little louder?
Yeah, sure. Is my voice audible now?
It's very soft.
Okay. How is it now? For everyone, is it the same?
It is okay for me.
Okay, thank you so much. So, just treat everyone with respect. We may be discussing personal topics, so please be gentle with everyone and respect each other. And third, if you wish to speak, you can use the raise hands button. I will just ask you to unmute and you can just talk. And also, please maintain confidentiality. Whatever we are speaking over here will be remaining between us, and it shouldn't be going outside. And finally, there's no violence or intimidation over here. So, we are here to learn and not to judge. If you all agree with this ground rules, can I get a quick thumbs up? Alright, thank you for responding. Okay, so a quick disclaimer before we move forward. This workshop is an intellectual property of MindTribe, so please avoid taking screenshots or recording the session. So everything I'm sharing over here today is for educational and self-reflection purpose. So please refrain from taking screenshots. It is only to make you understand burnout and learn to how to set boundaries. So please avoid taking screenshots since this is an property of MindTribe. Alright, so let's begin. Let's warm up a little. So I want you all to think about this very honestly. Like, how many of you have ever said yes when you really wanted to say no? There might be situations where you really wanted to say no, but during such situation you might be saying yes, right? So I want you all to just be very honest. You can give me a quick thumbs up if you are agreeing to this. All right, Vivek says he never does it. All right, that's really great of you, Vivek. Okay, Sri Lakshmi says only sometimes in my life. Okay, thank you guys for responding. Right, everyone can respond in the chat. You can just use the thumbs up button as well if you're not comfortable. Thank you guys for responding. Okay, so I see some people are saying that they say no and sometimes they say yes, and some people are agreeing that they say when they want to say no. So I'm really happy that you all are at the right place. I am really happy that you'll be benefiting something from here. So this is not a fault that you all are having. A lot of people are struggling with this, so you're not alone. So don't worry. We'll just see how to set boundaries and talk about burnout. All right. Uh, so now that we have settled in, let's talk about topics that's going to be covered today. So we're going to see what understanding burnout is, and how to set healthy boundaries, how to build healthy boundaries, and how to practice boundaries in real situation, and then how to protect your energy. And finally, we'll be also creating some action plans and reflections for you for your takeaways. So the goal is not to overwhelm you. The goal is to help you to walk away with clarity and real tools so that you can use it after the sessions as well. So these are the five topics that we will be covering in this workshop. Alright, so now let's move to the first big topic of today, something that many of us experience but we can't recognize that we are burned out or when we are exhausted. So let's talk about burnout today. Okay, so this burnout is something that many of us experience, but only few of us talk about it honestly. So burnout is not just like feeling tired or something, but it's kind of a deeper form of exhaustion. So people might be misunderstanding that burnout is something that is like a normal tiredness that people are feeling. So for example, it's not just like I need a nap or I slept late. So it's not happening because of that. It's not because that you are tired, but it is kind of a deeper form of that. Like when you are feeling more exhausted or you're not interested in task or you are completely burnout. So burnout happens physically, emotionally, and mentally as well. It's not only happening physically, it happens in all the three categories. So also burnout usually builds slowly, so slowly that sometimes we don't even realize that we are burning out until we hit a point where everything feels heavy. So sometimes we don't realize that we are feeling burning out. So if there are a few symptoms that shows burnout, like you might be waking up tired even after sleeping, or you might feel disconnected from things that you normally used to enjoy. Or even a simple task sometimes feels like a big task for you. So these are some situations where you are actually burning out. And when you are talking about emotionally, you might be feeling numb, irritated, or overloaded. So burnout is basically your mind and body saying that I have tried much better, but I need a break now. So it's kind of an exhaustion that you guys are feeling. So it's completely not about your tiredness or something that's for short term. All right. If you guys are with me, can I get a good thumbs up? All right. Thank you for responding. Okay. So now let's take a moment and think about this. So I want you all to just put your answer in the chat. Which area drains you the most right now? Is it work, relationships, or self? Where is your energy draining a lot? Right, Kanvi says all, Sanchari says relationships. Okay, Raj says self. Sri Lakshmi says no work, so relationships and self. Right. Deepali says relationship. Sri Lakshmi says relationship. Rajdeep says relationship and self. Vani says relationships. Alright, thank you all for responding. So I see that not everyone are getting trained in one specific place. So everyone are having different places where their energy is getting burned out. So this is just to notice that where your biggest emotional leak is happening. It is just kind of an awareness so that when you are understanding which area is draining for you, you'll be able to just notice it and pay attention to that so that you'll be able to set boundaries. So the first point over here is to have awareness of where your energy is getting drained. So just thank you all for responding. We will be moving to the next slide. Okay. So here is a small activity, a burnout self-check. So burnout happens in three categories. So as I mentioned before, burnout shows symptoms physically, emotionally, behaviorally. So it affects all the three categories. So when we are talking about, I just want you all to just pay attention and listen to all these three symptoms, so that I'll ask you to choose one category that feels most familiar to you. The first one is the physical burnout that people usually have. So when your body gets tired easily, that means it is that you are physically burnout. So the symptoms that might be showing are you might be having headaches, body pain, or disturbed sleep. So even resting sometimes doesn't feel like it helps. So when these situations or these kind of symptoms shows up, then that means you are feeling physically burnt out. And the second thing is the emotional signs. For example, you may be feeling more irritated than usual. So this irritability or kind of detachment that you're feeling might be a symptom that you are emotionally burnt out. So detachment in the sense you'll be feeling numb, or you feel like detached from the social situation. So in such situations you might be feeling emotionally burned out. And the third sign would be behavioral signs. So during such situation, you might be procrastination. You will do procrastination, or you might be avoiding tasks. You might be withdrawing from people, or you might be having interest before, but you will be showing less interest after the burnout. So when these signs shows up, then that means it shows signal that you are having behavior burnout. So these are how burnout affects a person physically, emotionally, and behaviorally. Now, I would like you to choose one category that feels most familiar to you right now. All right. So, which Priya says, okay, so this is a previous message. Mm. Sanchari says physical and emotional for me. All right. Happens. Irritability and withdrawal is something that people face very commonly. And Deepali says emotional. Which Priya says first and third. Yes, physical and behavioral symptoms. Okay. Sri Lakshmi says all. Okay, so you're slowly recovering. I'm so happy that you're recovering. I'm really glad for that. And Kanvi says the third one, behavioral. All right. And okay, Vishma says all categories. Right. So these are just awareness for you, like to understand which area you are getting burnout exactly. All right. So none of these signs means that something is wrong with you, or you are having some fault or something like that. They just mean that you have been strong for too long without giving yourself enough rest or boundaries. It's just time for you to get awareness and notice where your energy is draining. So thank you all for responding. Right. So now let's see the difference between burnout and stress. This is something that a lot of people might be confusing, that burnout and stress are a same thing. So it's not actually that it is completely a different thing. Burnout and stress are not same. So stress is a short term depression, but burnout is not like that. It is a very long term. And stress comes when you have a deadline, or when you have an argument, or when you are having a busy day, something is bothering you. So during such situation you might be very stressful. But burnout is not because of that. Burnout is because when you are, having a lot of workload, or more than your capacity, you're managing a lot of things, then that means you'll get physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted. So that leads to burnout, and it is long term. And also, stress usually pushes you to act, that your brain says that okay, let's get this done right now. So stress leads you to action, but burnout says that I have done enough, and I'm not able to do it anymore, and I'm really feeling exhausted. So that's the difference between stress and burnout. Alright, so this is something that a lot of people might be confusing. So stress is just like a spark, but burnout is like a fire that has been burning quietly for months, and sometimes we might not be, realizing that we are being exhausted. So just understanding the difference will help you to realize when you need to make a change, especially to take set boundaries. So, Sri Lakshmi says that it's very difficult to recover from burnout. So, I assure you, Sri Lakshmi, just after this workshop, you'll be able to heal yourself and come out of this. Since this is very simple, but because of some misconceptions, we're not able to set boundaries. So, when we are setting boundaries, we'll be able to come out of this burnout. Uh, so here is a question for you. Do you feel more stressed or more burnt out these days? If you feel stressed, you can, put the thumbs up button, and if you feel more burnout these days, you can use the thumbs down button. All right. A lot of people say that you feel stressed. Okay. Some people also say that they're feeling burnout. Okay. This is just to understand the difference between what is burnout and stress. Okay. So thank you all for responding. I will move to the next slide. Okay, so now let's see some causes of burnout. What is actually leading to burnout? What is the reason of exhaustion? So there are a few common patterns. So the first one is workload. So I think a lot of people might be knowing that workload might be, leading to burnout. So this is something really very common, that people take a lot of things in hand, even more than the mind and the body has the capacity to handle. So a workload is in a sense like a lot of things that comes up, and you're taking everything overloaded by yourself. So when such situation happens, that means you're taking all the tasks by yourself, and your brain is getting overloaded, and this workload might be leading you to burnout. So only if you have the capacity to handle things, that is when you need to say yes. So if you are not having the capacity to handle a lot of things, your mind might be knowing, and there is where you need to be saying no to avoid this burnout. So workload is the biggest cause of burnout. And the next cause would be unclear roles. So when you are having an unclear role or expectation, for example, you might be not aware of what task you are doing, what actually it is, or am I the right fit for this task. So such doubts or fears in your mind will lead to burnout. So when you're when you're not confident of what you're doing, if it is your task, or kind of fear that am I doing it right or not, is also a kind of an unclear rule. So this will definitely lead to cause burnout. So this is a second cause of burnout. And then the third one would be lack of emotional support. So when you feel that all the tasks are done by yourself, that means you will feel less motivated, and burnout will be easily happening. So when you are handling everything alone and there's no one to support you, you have taken all the burden by yourself, and you have taken all the tasks. There's no really even one person to support you emotionally or physically. Then that means there's a lack of support for you, and that can definitely lead to cause burnout. And also we have weak boundaries. So this is the first question I have asked you, that how many of you say yes for saying no. So a lot of people had said that you say yes for saying. So that is where you are having weak boundaries, and weak boundaries are a biggest reason for causing burnout. So when you say yes too often, or when you don't protect your time, or when you don't speak up about what feels too much for you, or during those situations, your energy slowly drains down, and it will lead to burnout. And burnout doesn't happen because you are weak. It happens because you have been giving more than you receive for too long. So these are just the causes that's happening to burnout. You can just noticing all these causes will help you to identify what is the reason of burnout. So I can see some responses in the chat. Sri Lakshmi says workload can be a career struggle. Exactly, right. Like if you don't have work but struggling to get a job. Yes, exactly. So that is also a major reason for that. And Vertika says absolutely yes. Workload isn't only about having too much work. It can also include the mental and emotional load you carry. Right, right. Exactly, Vertika. So, Sanchari says that weak boundaries and unclear rules are uh, that she finds more the cause of burnout. So, yes, I'll talk about unclear rules again, Sri Lakshmi, no problem. So, unclear rule is something where you are fearing about the task you're doing. For example, you're not clear of what you are doing. Is it my task, or am I in the place of someone else, or someone have to do the task, but I am doing in their place. This is one kind of unclear rule, or having a fear that if you are doing right or wrong, or if the task is deserve to you, or the effort you're putting is deserving. So these thoughts comes up in your mind, shows that you are having unclear role. So did I answer your question, Shilakshmi? Exactly, yes, yes, you are right. Right, right. So thank you all for responding. We will move to the next part of our workshop. So sorry. So now we have talked about burnout a lot, and how we have understood how it is causing and what it is. So now let's move into a most powerful tool that you can use to prevent this burnout, and it is boundaries. So this tool is boundaries, where you can use it to reduce burnout automatically. So when boundaries are weak or unclear, burnout increases, right? So this section exactly will help us understand what boundaries are, why do we struggle to set them, and how can we practice them without feeling guilty. So let's dive into this topic of the workshop. Okay. So now what are boundaries? Boundaries is very simple. This is something that we often hear a lot from a lot of people, but we don't truly understand it. It's very simple that a boundary is simply knowing your limits and communicating them clearly. So this is not just words, or boundaries are not just going to push people away. They are not about being rude, difficult, or it's not so hard or too much. But boundaries are just communicating what you are feeling, communicating your limits, your capacity, if you can or not. So it's simply saying that this is okay for me, or this is not okay for me. That's what boundaries are. So it's not so hard. So boundaries are just a guideline that protects your emotional space, your time, your physical energy, and even your mental peace. So just you can think of this way, like your phone needs a charger, right? So without a charge, that phone might be dying. So likewise, even our mind needs boundaries. So without a boundary, like without a charger, our energy will be drained. So mind also needs boundary. Boundary is kind of a charger that we will be using for our mind, just to reduce the energy drain. So without them, we might be running out low battery all the time, right? So that's the reason boundaries are very important. The boundaries are not, it's not a need, but it's an obligation that each one of us need to carry out in our life. So boundaries helps you take care of yourself while still being kind and respectful to others. So it's not being like harsh or rude. Even you can set a boundary when you are kind. So they're not about controlling others, they're just about managing your own well-being. So if you all are with me, can I get a quick thumbs up so that I can move to the next slide? Okay, thank you for responding. So Sanchari says that it's my biggest flaw that I cannot say no to anyone, even though it's harmed me, but still I'm doing it. Right, Sanchari? This is not, you're not alone in this. A lot of people are having a similar situation. Let it be me or you. A lot of people are having the difficulty to set a boundary. So we will be looking more detail how to set a boundary in a more meaningful and kind way, not being rude or harsh, so that we not feel sad about it. Alright, so we'll talk about the misconceptions also. So just don't worry. After the workshop, I hope that you'll be able to set boundaries really very well. So the next thing would be types of boundaries. So boundaries are not having only one type. There are a lot. There are several types of boundaries. So you might be strong in some areas and you might be struggling in others. So let me walk you through them in a very simple way. So the first type of boundaries would be the physical boundary. So physical boundary is where you are having your personal space or personal physical comfort. So when you are setting boundaries based on your physical space or your comfort, that means it is a type of a physical boundary. For example, you are setting a boundary like I don't like being touched without permission. So this sentence is a physical boundary that you are setting to a person that you want because you need physical comfort or a space. Another example would be I need time to rest. So when it is based on your space and your comfort, then the boundary that you are setting will be your physical boundary. So this is one type of boundary that we have. Another type of boundaries would be emotional boundaries. So this protects your feelings and your emotional energy. So the emotions include your feelings, your thoughts, your respect, whatever you are feeling in that situation. So for example, when you are setting a boundary that I don't want to talk about this right now, or I need some personal space to process. So these examples shows that you are setting a emotional boundary. So when you need a space for your feelings and you want people to understand your emotions, then you might be setting a boundary under emotional category. So this is all about emotional boundary, and we have a work boundaries as well. So work boundaries will be used under work area settings, or let it be home task or any kind of work that you are doing. So when you are having workload or over stress because of overwork or the role's difficulty. So during such situation, you will not be able to take all the tasks by yourself. So when you are setting a boundary in that particular area, that means you are setting a work boundary over there. So for example, I cannot take on extra task today, or I'm not available today. Maybe the next time I'll be doing this. So after working hours, I can help you with this. So these kind of boundaries are something that we set for avoiding the workload and stress. So another boundary should be the time type. So this will help you to protect your schedule and your priorities. So for example, I can only meet for 30 minutes, or I need this evening for myself. So when you're taking time for yourself, you're prioritizing yourself more, or you are having your own to do things or your schedules that you have coming in the future. So during such situation, you will take this type of boundary, which is time. So this is just because of your own personal need, for your own time that you need to have, your personal time or your personal priorities. And then we have digital boundaries as well. So this is, I think you might all be aware of, that you need to protect your mental clarity from the online world. So if you are working in the phone all the time or in your laptop, so you might be saying that I don't respond to messages late at night, or I need a break from social media. So when you are doing that, you are having digital boundaries. So this is also a type of boundaries that you might be setting. Yes, exactly. Digital detox. So these are some types of boundaries, so that will be helpful for you to set where to set and how to set it. So can I move to the next slide? Right. Thank you guys for responding. Thank you for being there. Okay, now we have an activity. It's a very interesting question. So, which area is the hardest for you to set boundaries at work, family, friends, or digital social media? I have spoke about what are the types of boundaries. So now, which is the hardest place for you to set a boundary? Right. Neetu says family. Okay. Kami says digital. She Lakshmi says nothing. It's hard for me. All right. That's really great. You are at the right place, Sri Lakshmi. No worry. If you want, you guys can unmute and answer as well. There's no problem. Or else, if you're comfortable, you can put it in the chat. Okay, Sanchari says relationships and friends. Vani says digital and family. Okay, thank you guys for responding. So, yes, over here, not everyone will be finding it hard in one particular area. Sometimes they'll be finding it hard in multiple areas, right? So, most of us will be having this as a very challenging in our life. So, identifying that area will be helping you to understand where your boundary risk is the highest. So, when you are identifying where the risk is higher, then you will be able to set a boundary over there. So, the first part of the workshop is all about awareness of where your energy is getting drained and where you are not able to set a boundary. And the later part would be of how to confidently set a boundary. So now let's move to the next slide. Okay. So now why boundaries actually matter? Why do we need to prioritize it? Why is it so necessary and how can it help us? So, when you set a boundary, the first thing is it prevents your burnout. So, as I said before, it doesn't exhaust you, it doesn't, impact your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So, it doesn't, affect your well-being, and it doesn't make you exhausted or feeling not interested in tasks. So boundaries will definitely help you prevent burnout, and also boundaries will be helping you to protect your energy. So protecting your energy in the sense you will be able to feel more energetic and feel so active enough that your your sense of self will be so alive, and very importantly it will be strengthening your relationships. So many people think that boundary is going to push people away, but that actually doesn't happen when you are setting a boundary for yourself, and in a very kind manner you are saying that you are also being loud, and as well as me, I'm also being loud. So when that happens, your energy doesn't get drained in relationships. So that will obviously strengthen the relationship instead of pushing people away. That's kind of a myth that a lot of people are having. And also boundaries will be reducing your stress levels. You'll be feeling so happy without overdoing all the tasks, taking everything in your head. Um, so now we will just move to the next slide if you all are with me. Okay, thank you for responding. Now there's an activity for you. Just you have to spot the boundary. So I'll just give you a situation where a person says that you'll have to work at the late night, and asking another person about it. So there are two examples of how people set boundaries. So the example A is sure I'll work late again, no problem. And example B is I can't stay late today, but I can help tomorrow. So these are two examples, and which do you think shows a healthy boundary? Is it A or is it B? Right, right. A lot of people are answering B, obviously. Two is healthy. Exactly, Kanya. Right. Okay, so now why is example B very healthy? Because here you are being very honest, at the same time you're balancing. You're balancing yourself and the other person as well. So you are still kind over here and not being harsh, because you're telling that I can help you tomorrow. So this is not going to push people away, because you're setting a boundary in a very kind manner, a very gentle terms. So this is just to spot a boundary, to understand how boundary really works. Thank you all for responding. I really appreciate if everyone can respond in the chat. There's no right or wrong answers. Okay. So now let's talk about some myths. This is very important that a lot of people are having confusions, misunderstandings that boundaries have. So we are all brought up in a way that when we are saying no, it's something that a very wrong thing to do, or we are not a good person, or we are not right. So that's actually a biggest myth that people are having. So the truth is boundaries, build a healthier connection. So the myth one would be boundaries are selfish. So I understand that a lot of people think boundaries are making people selfish, and they just think only about themselves. But that doesn't actually happen. Boundaries actually make your relationship healthier and more respectful. It's not about being selfish. You're giving time and priority for yourself and the other person. It's a biggest misunderstanding that people are having. And the second myth would be that good people always say yes. So that is not actually the truth. That good people respect other people. I mean their own limits as well. So you can be kind by to say no still. So that is also going to make you a good person. So you can be kind and say no. So it's going to make you a good person. So it's always saying yes will not be only making you a better person, right? And also we have another myth that a lot of people think that boundaries push people away, but that doesn't happen always. Boundaries only push the wrong person away and bring the right person closer. So when you think that it's going to destroy the relationship, boundaries doesn't happen that way. It's you're just conveying them that you're giving time for yourself, that your needs also are important, as well as you're prioritizing them as well, that you will be doing the task tomorrow or the next time. So this is where you are loving yourself more and the other person as well. So when you're not setting boundaries, you're going to love that person over you. Then finally, we have another myth where people think that boundaries make you rude, but there is a way that even boundaries cannot be rude, right? We don't need to be harsh, or we don't need to be shouting or something like that. We can clearly communicate our boundaries in a gentle manner, being very soft, or communicating very gently or politely. So in that way, we'll be able to not be rude. So these are just tips for how to overcome these myths about boundaries. So you guys all are with me, right? Can I move to the next slide? Right. Thank you for responding. So now let's look about the steps to set boundaries. So there are three steps that we have to set a boundary. So the step one would be, first we need to notice what drains your energy. So first would be identifying the task that was given in the earlier, right, in the first part of the workshop. So there, that's the reason I was asking a lot of questions, so that you'll be able to notice where your energy is getting drained, which aspect is actually draining your energy. So that would be the first step, that we need to identify what is repeatedly exhausting you. So that needs a boundary. So that would be step one, and step two would be deciding what's okay and what's not okay. So only if you are communicating clearly that if you don't know your own limits, you'll not be able to communicate clearly. So just think, the next step would be thinking of whether it's right to set a boundary here, or you are able to do the task and it's not going to get you exhausted. So decide if it is okay or not would be the second step. And the third step would be communicating kindly and clearly. As I said, we don't need to be harsh or rude. We can just use simple statements, a simple sentence that I'm not available for that right now, but I'll be able to do it now. Or you can just say them that I can hear you, I can understand that you need this work done, but I can, I have, I'm a little bit exhausted. I can do this next time even more better. So this way, you're not going to be rude or harsh. You'll be, even the person opposite will not be resisting your boundary and understanding that you are really in a need, right? So boundaries are not about the tone; they're not about the clarity. So I hope you all agree with this. So can I get a quick thumbs up if you agree with what I say? All right. Thank you all for responding. So now let's talk about how to practice boundaries. We have spoke about how to set boundaries, how to what are boundaries, what are burnout, where you are exactly draining your energy. So now we'll see how to practice in real life situation. So now, why saying no is hard? So boundaries are, thought to be little hard. So it's not really easy. If it is easy, life would be very simple, no? But actually, boundary is not hard. It is the way of thinking that it's making the boundary hard. So it's all about the human emotions that makes boundary to be hard, and we're not able to do it. So it's the reason that they're not easy has nothing to do with weakness or personality. Let me walk you through the four biggest reasons why we struggle with saying no. Um, so the common reason, the first reason would be fear of disappointing others. So many of us grew up believing that saying yes makes us a good people. If we say no, then that must be very disappointing, or we have the fear all the time. We shouldn't disappoint the opposite person. So when we think of saying no, our mind immediately says says yes because of the fear. So what if they feel bad, or what if they think I'm rude? These kind of thoughts about the other person, this fear of disappointing them will make us say yes. And even if we are getting drowned, or our energy is getting drained because of the fear of the opposite person, we say yes for everything. So this is one reason that saying no has become very hard. This fear might be pulling us into saying yes even when we are drowning. So the second reason is feeling guilty. Yes, thank you, Vartika. Boundaries don't always feel kind to others, but trying to set them is already a strong step towards taking care of yourself. Right. Thank you for sharing that over here. Um, so Sri Lakshmi says, however, kind we are sometimes, we can't be kind to some people while setting boundary and trying. Exactly, not all the people will be agreeing or being in good terms when we are setting a boundary. We'll talk about that in the later. We have how to handle the pushbacks, how to handle pushbacks when boundaries are set. So don't worry, we'll be talking about that. And Sanchari says, what if you set it and after that the opposite person reaction make you? Yes, yes, we'll be talking about how to handle the pushbacks. Alright. Exactly, exactly. That's the reason we have to set a boundary, or else people might be taking us for granted, right? We'll not be having that value. People not might be thinking that okay, this person can do all the tasks by himself. So that is something. The reason, the biggest reason that boundaries needs to be set. All right. So the okay, let's resume to the presentation. So the second reason would be feeling guilty. A lot of people feel very guilty when they are setting a boundary, right? So taking time for ourselves is something very guilty that people may be feeling. So, but guilt doesn't mean you're wrong. It means that you're not used to care for yourself. So feeling guilty doesn't actually have to stop you for setting a boundary. It's a good thing that you are setting a boundary. Okay. And then the third reason would be worrying about conflict. So as you all have said over here, some people avoid setting boundaries because they are scared of arguments or uncomfortable reactions. So that's completely normal that you all are thinking in that way. Most of us don't enjoy conflicts, right? So that's the reason people avoid setting, refrain setting from boundaries. So we'll also talk about how to handle those pushbacks. Alright. So this is also a reason why saying no has become hard. And then lastly, we have a desire to please everyone. Some people might be having this in their instinct that it's good to please everyone. For that, they'll be drowning themselves, right? So because of that, because of this kindness that they are having, they might be, training themselves a lot. They might be making themselves overwhelmed because of this kindness. This is not a fault. This is something that has come in the instinct itself. So, if you struggle to say no, it simply means you're a human. So, it means you care, but that doesn't mean that you have to lose your energy in the process, right? So, that's the reason you need to remember saying no is also saying yes to yourself. Just keep that in the mind. Can I move to the next slide? Alright, thank you for responding. Okay, now let's see how to reframe the boundaries. So we might be having a lot of thoughts. about the boundaries. So these are the automatic negative thoughts that you might be having before setting a boundary. So how to reframe this in a more positive perspective. So let's look about how to reframe old thoughts to new thoughts. So whenever you are setting a boundary and getting thoughts that if I set a boundary, I'll upset people. So this is the old thought that you are having. So during such situation, you have to just reframe it in your mind that boundaries build respect and it's not actually going to upset people. There is a way that we can be kind and our priority also matters. So when you are reframing it in this way, you'll be able to set a boundary. So you can just make note of it that whenever you're feeling having thoughts that is being negative about boundaries, you can just reframe it in your mind. I'll also give you here some examples of how to reframe old thoughts to new thoughts. So also there is an old thought where saying no is selfish. So the new thought would be saying no protects my energy so I can show up better later. So it's not selfish. So all the time boundaries are not selfish. And another thought would be saying no protects my energy so I can show up better later. So old thought we can just reframe it in this way. So also we have thoughts that I have to explain myself fully. So new thought can be a simple or a kind sentence is enough. So this way you can just reframe it into a better perspective. Just make note of it so that it'll be very beneficial before you set a boundary when you're having negative thoughts. Alright, can I move to the next slide? If you all have understood. Alright, thank you for responding. Okay, now this is very important about boundary pins. So you might be have set a boundary before, right? If you just remember of a recent situation where you have successfully set a boundary, and just think about how did it actually benefit you or others. Did it give you a peace of mind? Did it give you a time for yourself, or did it help you to prioritize your rest, or help you to build a better relationship? Just for according to you, how did it benefit you or others? If you guys can, you can also feel free to unmute and share your experience, or you can also put it in the chat. Yes, Sri Lakshmi, please go ahead.
Recently I had to put a boundary. Like I was going to my music class, and there was one auntie. She's very senior to me, like maybe my mother's age. So I was like very respectful to her because she was my mother's age, and still she's pursuing studying music. My mother will always tells that she would actually do it when she is retired. So because she's so busy, this lady is like some scientist and retired, maybe some more age than my mother. So I was always respectful to her. But this lady actually was like kind of behaved as if she heard some gossip about me, and she was asking some years back when I used to react in a maybe because of trauma and all. I used to have this outburst, and I used to react very badly to some negative things and all. So this lady, out of hearing some gossip about me, she was like pushing my buttons about that. But that happened years ago. But that was not true. Also, people like they absorb whatever they want. So I was like, first I actually challenged my thought. I was like, oh, this is time. Maybe I am thinking, overthinking the situation because already I was very like in a failure mode in my life. So I was very drained, burnt out, and so I thought, okay, it is my overthinking. Second, and always I behaved nicely to her. Always I, even when she wants some help, I do, and if she asks for my company, also I gave her. But again, she actually she wanted a reaction out of me, a bad reaction like I did some years ago due to this trauma. So she wanted to know whether I would react in a bad way, and she was always trying to push my button. There, I also said it to my mother and asked about it. My mother told, then you have to set the boundary because she is doing it purposely. So then I also, to avoid this unwanted trigger and unwanted situation, I set the boundary like in a good way. Like I actually went and I thought, okay, that it is my private thing, right? And it happened years ago, and it is not true. Full of people like they gossip about whatever they hear. So then I thought, okay. Then I set the boundary clearly, and now I'm happy. It didn't become rude like older times, but I actually set the boundary clear. Now she don't interfere much. I don't talk to her. That is the way I did that. Thank you.
Alright, thank you so much, Sri Lakshmi, for sharing that. I'm so glad that you are able to set a boundary over there. And this must be a great example for everyone, even for me, that you have set a boundary. And I am so glad that it also helped you. So, this way, we'll be able to set a boundary that's not going to push relationships away. It's going to make it even more stronger, that we'll be feeling even much better. So, this is a kind of a relationship boundary that you have set over here, right?
Thank you for asking me to share.
Yes, yes, it's so helpful for everyone over here, right? Everyone could relate with that. So thank you all for responding. This boundary win is very important to be aware of, so that it will be helpful to have even more. You can get the motivation to set boundaries even strong in the future. So that boundary wins is something that you need to be thinking of every time. So it will be motivating yourself to set in the future. So can we move to the next slide? Right. Thank you for responding. Okay, now this is something that you all were asking about, right? So, how to handle pushbacks? It's very important from this workshop. So, let's talk about that. This is very real that a lot of people are facing. Sometimes, when we are setting a boundary, people might not be like. So sometimes people might be resisting your boundaries. People might not be in good terms with your boundaries. So during such situation, how to handle those pushbacks? So first step, there are three steps on how to handle the pushback. So when they are saying no, or they are getting angry, or let it be they are upset with you, just stay calm. Don't over explain, or don't panic at that moment. Just stay calm and just breathe over there, and then you can take a moment for yourself, and then you can repeat it kindly. So now how to make them be agree with your boundaries, from moving to resisting your boundaries to how to make them agree to your boundaries. So that is very simple. You can use simple phrases, like you can use I statement. This I statements will help you to benefit when people are not in good terms with you, when they are resisting your boundaries, or they don't like it. Someone has raised their hand. Okay. So during such situation, you can repeat your boundary kindly. You can just say, "I understand," or "I can hear you," or "I can get what you are saying, but actually I'm not in the right moment right now. So I'll able to take it next time. So I'm not able to do it right now." This way, you'll become more kind, and when you're using such simple phrases, even people who resist your boundaries will be understanding that okay, you are in the moment where you also have a situation and you're exhausted. So this way we can make the people to accept your boundaries. So boundaries are not negative, or it's not going to be rude when you are making it in a gentle manner, or when you are setting it in a very kind of terms. Also, the third step would be suggesting alternatives if possible. So when people are resisting your boundary, even again after doing all this, you can just suggest alternative if it is necessary only. So like I'm not able to do the task right now, and I can understand how you feel, but I'll be able to do it tomorrow or the next time. But I'm sure that I'll be doing it. So by this way, the person will be guaranteed. They'll be assured that you will be doing the task, but it is because of your exhaustion that you're not able to do. So this is a three-step agenda. I mean, three-step note that you have to keep in your mind. First step is to don't panic, don't just relax, stay calm, just breathe, and you can repeat it cleanly. And then the second step would be using I statements. You can use terms like I understand or I hear you. And then the third step would be suggesting alternatives if possible. So by this way, you'll be able to handle the pushbacks and handle people who resist your boundaries. Even people who resist your boundaries will be able to say that okay, it's okay, and maybe next time you can do it. So they'll get assured. So that's the reason of this. Okay, Sanchari says I over explained the whole thing. Why I am setting the boundaries till the outburst of opposite person. Good question. All right, yes, but what I say is you don't have to over explain anything, okay? You have to just repeat it kindly once or twice. You don't have to over explain it, right? You can just suggest alternatives, just stay calm. If some people are not avoiding your boundary even after trying all this, that means they're not concerned of you. So you're absolutely, it's not your fault at all. So just remember that even after trying all these ways, they are just resisting or they are not agreeing your boundary. Then that means you're not concerned, and it's not worth to set boundaries over that. Just think that way. All right. Yes, exactly, Sri Lakshmi. Thank you for sharing that. Such people aren't worthy of you. Better cut off them. Okay. Thank you for sharing that over here. Anyone would like to share? Okay, if not, then we will be moving to the next slide. Thank you all for responding. Okay, now let's do an activity. Just how to practice saying no here itself. So here is a scenario where your colleague asks you to cover their shift last minute, but you're exhausted. Now just type your boundary in the response. Boundary response in the chat using one of the scripts. I can't take this on right now. That doesn't work for me. I would like to help, but I need rest first. This is just examples. You can use your own way of setting a boundary based on the scenario. So over here itself, you can practice how to set a boundary more kind and more gentle. You can put the boundaries that you will be setting in the chat. Okay, Sanchari says, I would love to help, but I need rest first. Exactly, Sanchari. I'm so happy that you're able to set the boundary over here. You guys can also type according to you, however you would like the words to be, but in a very kindful way. She Lakshmi says, I would like to, but I'm so tired right now. Next time, if possible, I will surely try to do that for you. Exactly, this is how we'll be setting a boundary in a more kindful, and we are also suggesting alternatives that we could. So, this will help even the person who are resisting also will be understanding that we need time, we need a space. So, thank you for responding, Shri Lakshmi. Okay, someone said I would have help, but I myself very tired, so not now. Exactly. So these are ways that we can kindly set a boundary. So I'm so happy that you're able to set boundaries after the understanding of this workshop. Thank you, guys. Okay, so let's just take a break over here. We have gone through a lot. So just like YouTube have breaks, it's a free break. Just grab some water or just take some rest. You can enjoy this break. We'll be resuming a lot of activities and interactions upcoming in the presentation. So just stay there. So now, what is counseling? What is one-on-one counseling? So counseling is a personalized, confidential session between a client and a trained therapist. It's how people help. It is to help people, direct a person in a right path, helping them to manage how to move in such bothering situations. So that's the goal of counseling. So it leads to personal growth. It helps you gain insight into your thoughts, behavior, and emotions, and especially it helps you to solve problems and address situations, specific issues like anxiety, stress, or relationship problems. And it will also help you to set goals like towards personal or professional goals. So this is all about what counseling is. And then we have counseling misconceptions that a lot of people are having. That people might be misunderstanding that counseling is only for who are sick, but that actually is not the reason. Counseling is for someone or anyone who would like to become their best version. So anyone who would like to have better relationships, have more friends, success in their academics, advancement in their career, or any kind of general issues that they're facing. But it's not about for anyone who are sick. And then we have why MindTribe counseling is to be chosen. So we have a lot of highly talented counselors, especially we are providing affordable charges and affordable packages, and especially our first session cost is for rupees only 449. So if you guys are interested, you can just check out the MindTribe website, and if you are interested in counseling, you can also check out that. If you have any urgent questions, then just feel free to ask. I'll also be sharing this presentation in the group, so you can reach out to me at any time, and I'll be helping you with that. Right, now let's resume our presentation. Let's talk about how to protect our energy. Let's talk about how the energy is getting drained. Alright? Okay, so here is a mini activity, an energy chart. Just imagine that you are having 10 marbles of energy today. Then, how many of those marbles would be going to work? How many would be going to relationships? And how many marbles would be going to self? Just an activity to make you feel warm. It can be like, 4, 5, something like that. Just to check how much your energy is flowing in each dimensions, each areas. Okay, Sri Lakshmi says 442 maybe. Alright, so means you have high energy in work and relationship, but you are having little low energy flowing in yourself. Then another person says 5, 2, and 3, so that means relationship and self are flowing little bit less compared to your work. And Sanchari says 262. So your relationship is very good. You're lacking in work and self. So that's completely all right. Just an awareness of how the energy is flowing in each aspects. All right. So becoming aware of this will help to balance the first step to protect your energy. So that's the reason of this activity. Thank you all for responding. We'll just go to the next slide. Okay, now what drains you versus what fills you. So the energy drains would be overwork, negativity, or lack of rest. So these might be the reason that your energy is getting drained. So what can be the energy fillers that is the right opposite to help with the energy drains? So when you're taking breaks in between each task or whenever you're feeling exhausted, that will help you to fill that energy that has been drained, or having your hobbies that's been very interesting for you will be helping you to boost from that energy drain. And having a right amount of sleep, or having a good support system to help you support with the task that's been overwhelming for you. So just remember of these energy fillers whenever you're feeling energy drained. You can just try out these. Even a 5 minutes break or any kind of hobbies, having a good amount of sleep, or having a good support system, a good friend or a family member will help you a lot. Alright? Okay, so now let's talk about some energy habits to protect your energy drink. So the first thing would be taking regular breaks. So even a 5 minutes break would be helping your brain to reset. So in between each task, or in between each exhausted things that you're being doing or taking a lot of work, then over that time you can just take some small breaks for you to rest and come out of that easily. And then the second habit would be sleep hygiene. So every human need at least 8 to 9 hours of sleep a day. So that's very important to function very well. So having a sleep will be helping out from that stress and that exhaustion. So just you can have a good sleep hygiene. And then the next thing would be say no to overload. So when you are this is what we were talking from right from the start, that boundaries has to be set to avoid energy drain. So when you're saying no to overload, that's going to help you your energy from stopping it to get drained. And then a digital detox, it's very important to step away from your screen so that you'll be able to protect your mental peace. So just stay away from your screen when you're feeling stressful. and then moving your body. So this will improve your mood, reduce fatigue, and reset your energy. Moving in the sense you don't need to do big exercise or heavy work, um, heavy exercises or kind of movements. Just a small minimal movement of your body will help you to increase the energy. You might be staying active all throughout. So these are just habits that you can try whenever you are feeling so drained or exhausted. You can make note of each of these habits. So if you are done with that, I'll move to the next slide. Okay, thank you for responding, guys. Thank you for being there. So I'll just finish it very soon. It's going to end. So just stay there. So now we have a role play reflection. I just want you all to think of one recent situation where your energy got drained and ask yourself, could I set a boundary here, or how might I respond differently next time? So you guys might be saying, yes for no right before in your recent situation. So during such situation, now if you think that if I set a boundary over here, how could I set a boundary over there? Can you please share your experience in the chat, or you can also unmute yourself and answer. Okay, She Lakshmi says yes for now. Talk less to that particular person right now who disturbed my mental peace. Right. So you feel that you are able to set a boundary over there, but before you were not able to do it, right? So that means it is a win that after the workshop you're feeling that it's okay to set a boundary over here. So that's the reason of this question. So thank you for sharing that, Sheila. Anyone else would like to answer? Respond over here. Okay, recently one of my flatmate was washing her face in the kitchen sink, and I didn't say anything, so I felt bad later, right? So I'm so happy that you're able to reflect on what was done. So now that you have think that you could set a boundary over there is something that it's a win that after this workshop you're able to think of that day. Yes, exactly, Sri Lakshmi. You have to take a breath and immediately left the place slowly. But I yelled a little and only left. But now better than early when I shouted for some really long time. So thank you for sharing your report. Anyone else would like to respond? All right, all right. Okay, then we can move to the next slide since we are out of time. Okay. So now we are almost at the end of today's workshop. So this is the last section. So let's turn all this awareness into personal action plan. You will be taking takeaways and the reflections and what to do next after the session ends. So here is a 1 week boundary goal for you all. I really, suggest you all to try out this boundary and practice for this week. So just depending on your situation, however you like, you can just tailor it according to you. But here are just examples for you. No work emails after 8 p.m. Saying no to extra tasks or taking 1 hour for myself daily. These are just examples. You can just or you can pick anything from here also. And after the session ends, for this week, you can just practice this week boundary goal so that you not forget on how to set a boundary. It will just stay in your mind and you will practice after the sessions. Okay, Vani says if we work full time, can you just talk about that, Vani? I'm not getting what you're saying. Right, saying no to distractions when I'm studying is really very important. To set a digital boundary over there. Anyone else? Okay, so you can just make note of a boundary goal that you can have to practice from this week. So it will just stay in your mind all the time. So it's just a practice for your consistency. If you practice consistently, you will be able to set a boundary and make people not to resist your push. You'll be able to handle the pushbacks better. Right. So now, some before we wrap up, here are the few key takeaways from today. So we spoke about burnout and how it leads to long-term depletion, and how it leads us to get exhausted, and it's different from tiredness. It's not a simple tiredness that people feel that it exhausts physically, mentally, and emotionally, and that is the cause of. We have also saw some causes of burnout, and then we spoke about boundaries, that it's only for protection and it's not selfishness. So we spoke about some myths of boundaries, and how to take steps on setting boundaries, how to handle pushbacks, and how to we also spoke about some action plans and reflections about it, and then how to practice small steps that will lead to big impact. So it's just the consistency practice that's going to make a big impact for you. And finally, we have that you deserve to protect your energy every single day. So if you remember even one thing from today, let it be this: your energy is really very precious. So protect in the same way you protect the things you love. So just think of this, that you also deserve your space or time. You are worthy enough as well. So just protect your energy every day. All right? You guys all agree with me? You can just give me a thumbs up. Thank you all for responding. Thank you, Sri Lakshmi. Thank you for sharing your. Thank you, guys. Thank you for that. Okay, so I would like you to leave you all with this beautiful quote, that boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and me simultaneously. So, this is where when you set a boundary, you will be loving yourself and this other person also at the same time. So, this is a really beautiful quote that you all have to remember, so that you'll be able to set boundaries. So, your worth is also going to matter. Your priorities are also very important. You need to give space for you, and at the same time be kind to the others also. All right. So healthy boundaries don't push people away, they just help you stay connected without losing yourself. That's very important, right? All right, guys, thank you for that. So yes, we have almost come to
So
the.
can we get a recording of this? Is it available in the YouTube?
Yeah, yeah, it's available in the YouTube. I think it'll come up later, so you
It's
can
not
just.
updated. The latest ones are not updated.
Sorry, you're not audible.
Hello, the latest ones are not updated.
Yeah, I think it will take
Latest.
some time to get updated.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, guys, thank you all for being part of this session. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being there. And you guys were responding a lot all the time. And thank you for your reactions. And I hope you all are leaving with more clarity, confidence, and compassion for yourself. So, if you would like to explore therapy or counseling, just feel free to reach